Hello students, this is A.P. Sinha, University Professor of History. My today's lecture is on Crimean War, a war which should not have happened at all, but it happened. The causes were trivial, immensely trivial, almost childish, yet its results left an imprint on the global scenario. Crimea is a peninsula in southern Russia on the north coast of Black Sea, where the war actually and physically happened between 1853 and 1856. In this military conflict, Russia lost to an alliance made up of the Ottoman Empire, decaying Ottoman Empire, France, England, and Sardinia, S for Sardinia. The apparent reason for the outbreak of the Crimean War seems to be the outcome of confusion, ambition, fear, anxiety of the parties involved. In one case, involving an argument over a key of the church in the Holy Land of Jerusalem, which was a part of the Ottoman Empire. Indeed, the issue revealed was a greater confusion of purpose, yet they led to war for immense human loss, and yet again, some of its unintended results were of far reaching consequences. Let us examine the collateral interest and the attitude of the powers involved in the conflict. The Turkish or the Ottoman Empire, which came into being in 1453 from a mere principality into an empire and continued till her defeat in the First World War, was in a moribund stage, fondly called the sick man of Europe, and technically its area covered the Balkans, a part of Northern Africa, and the Middle East or the West Asia. From India's point of view, Balkan area inhabited mostly by the Slavs, and who to a certain extent imbibed the spirit of liberty, equality, and fraternity of the French Revolution, constantly and regularly were pushing for independence from the Turkish Empire, from the Turkish Sultan in the 19th century. The area was quite volatile. Russia, once a major player in the Central European politics, as was evident in the Congress of Vienna at Austria, and again when the Treaty of Adrianople 1829 was concluded, which had increased her influence over the fellow Slavs in the Balkan states, wanted to reassert herself again in European politics in the middle of the 19th century at the cost of the Ottoman Empire by crossing the straits of Bosphorus is here, and Dardanelles under Ottoman control into the Mediterranean in order to develop Russia's international trade. France under Napoleon III aimed at raising the prestige and glory of France in foreign affairs, which wished to pay back old grudges against Russia, wished revenge for the Moscow humiliation in 1812 of Napoleon I, and as his empire was based upon the support of the Roman Catholic population of France, and soldiers supported the cause of the Roman Catholics here, supported the cause of the Roman Catholics in Jerusalem, tussle regarding the ownership of the church key, as opposed to the Greek Orthodox Church followers, who were mostly Slavs supported by Russia. England, which was otherwise in her splendid isolation mode in European affairs, because of her lucrative trade with India and elsewhere, was however unwilling to allow Russia to alone solve the issues involved in the Balkans and to gain territory and power in the Mediterranean at the Ottoman Empire's expense, hence supported the cause of France on the church issue in Jerusalem. In the beginning, the war broke out between Russia and Turkey in Crimea. It could not remain a limited affair, as England and France supported the status quo of Turkey. Not only this, Cavour, the Prime Minister of Sardinia, Piedmont, who had plans of united Italy, sent his army in favor of the Allies to gain their cooperation in future. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1856, in March 1856, here in Paris, ended the war with consequences of variety of shades. The primary importance of the 1856 settlement lay in its attempts to solve the issues of tension which has caused the war in 40 years after Waterloo, where Napoleon was defeated, here in Belgium. But sadly, none of the issues could be solved permanently. Though England, France, and Austria admitted Turkey to the European family of states, and the sick man of Europe, this Turkey, sick man of Europe, was given some oxygen, as Russia promised not to interfere in the internal affairs of Turkey, returned each other's conquered provinces. Black Sea was made neutral for all countries. However, no country could use it during the course of war. River Danube, this one, was made free for navigation to all countries. The Sultan of Turkey was asked to improve the conditions of the Christians living in his empire, a promise which remained only on paper. Russia seems to be the biggest loser. Besides the loss of prestige, she also lost her Tsar in the midst of the war, who died. And the new Tsar, Alexander II, was bound to go for internal reforms, like abolition of serfdom, to boost the manpower energy necessary for a strong Russia. Further, one unexpected result was on Austria. Austria, though on the side of the Allies, the loss of Russian support led to her defeat in 1859-1866 war against Cavour and Bismarck respectively. Austrian Empire virtually lost her sway in European affairs, which in turn led to the unification of Italy and Germany. That is why it is said, out of the mud of Crimea, a new Italy was made, and less obviously a new Germany. Britain had fought the war on the presumption of future problems arising because of Russia, and in the process had huge loss of men and money, and it began to think that had she backed a wrong horse in Crimea. Moreover, a small island country with a population of hardly 2 crore and in whose empire the sun never set, was so intensely involved in the Crimea that she almost forgot her richest jewel, India, where the issue of Enfield rifle arose in place of Brown-Bess rifle, which led to the uprising of 1857 and the loss of Britain faced there. It was, however, the first war of centuries in which Britain and France had been on same side, the first in which women led by Florence Nightingale took an important share in caring the injured in the battlefield of Crimea, the first in which the telegraph, the press, exerted influence on the course of events, especially in England. It was in fact a tumbling war, probably unnecessary, largely futile, certainly extravagant, yet rich in unintended consequences. Thank you.